Welcome to the Peace and Possibilities podcast. This is Julie Bruns, and you are about to be inspired. I am so excited to share my conversations with amazing people from all walks of life who figured out how to be happy, peaceful, and content doing work they love and making the world a better place so that you can see what's possible for your life. I can't wait to hear what you think. Send me an email and let me know one thing you're taking away from this episode. And never forget, anything really is possible. All right, welcome to this episode, everyone. My guest this week is Sara McSpedon. Hi, Sara. Thanks for joining.
Hello. Thanks, Julie.
Yeah, so I'm excited to talk to you. We've never talked before. You are the owner of Mayweather Gym you have two of them now, one in River North. And the reason we know each other or have been introduced is because my husband works out at your boxing gym.
Right.
And we've only been in the city for a year and a half, and he started when we got down here a year and a half ago, and he loves it. I'm sure that you hear this all the time. People finally find the thing that makes them want to get up and go work out. It's pretty fun. And he likes basketball too, but this is he's like, it just feels so strong and healthy and all those great things. And we talk more about that if you want, but he's always talked about how inspired he is about the people there. And he's like, this lady owns a gym and it's so cool. And all these people are coming in and getting healthier. And so obviously you're doing a good thing.
Thank you. He's a superstar. So we're happy to have him.
Yeah. He's changed a lot. We were looking at some old pictures the other night. It's like, wow.
Yes.
I've seen it. He knows it. But that's the fun part.
It is.
You're like, oh, wow.
It's the best. It's what we love to do. So
it always feels like a little weird when you look back. You're like, I didn't think I looked like that before. And then you see the picture, you're like, oh,
yeah.
Not anymore. It's fun.
Exactly.
Let's get into this. So I know nothing about your background. I know what you do now, but I don't know, were you always in fitness? Did you always want to open your own business? Did you work in corporate America? Like, how did you figure out that this is the thing you wanted to do?
Absolutely. Yeah. So I was an athlete my whole life. I was a runner and I played lots of sports and just, I've always been active and I consider myself an athlete. So fitness and being athletic has always been a passion of mine. I was in corporate America. I have my MBA in finance. I was in corporate America working for MTV Networks for about 10 years in New York and then in Chicago. Corporate America just wasn't for me. My dad is an entrepreneur. He owned Pops for Champagne, which is a Chicago landmark he's the original owner for many years. And, after 10 years of corporate America, MTV moved me to Chicago. And at that point I joined my dad, in his entrepreneurial kind of venture, which was Pops, when we moved it down to River North. And then I just, I fell in love with being my own boss, quote unquote. I mean, he was kind of my boss, my dad, but kind of just seeing and kind of falling into his footsteps as an entrepreneur was something that I just realized that is where I want to be. And when we sold Pops in 2018 is when I really said to myself, okay, now I can marry my love and passion for fitness with my entrepreneurial spirit. So that's when I started researching, and I had been fitness boxing for probably about 5 years prior. And I saw the transformation in my own body when I started fitness boxing. So I knew that is kind of the direction that I wanted to take. I had been an Orange Theory fitness coach for a while, and I have always worked out, and I really, I love all those kind of workouts, but I really found a transformation in my own body and even like in the mind as well. So and it's actually proven the mental benefits of boxing. So I wanted to share that with everyone, with the masses. So that's when I started writing a business plan for my own boxing gym. And I fell on this information about Floyd Mayweather doing exactly what I was going to do, which is a combination of training like an athlete would train, a combination of boxing, strength, and cardio. So it's a great marriage of a lot of different elements. Your body, if you do one thing over and over and over again, your body just becomes there's a plateau that you hit. But what we're doing here is we're combining that strength and cardio so that you continually are able to kind of challenge yourself and elevate your cardio conditioning and strength. So in 2019 is when I met with the corporate team in Los Angeles for this franchise, and tried to do some discovery of my own to make sure it was a fit. And I signed in very early in the franchise for the Chicagoland market. So I'm very lucky to have this market and really grow and expand it with the brand. So yeah, so it wasn't an ideal time to open, but
yeah,
I will say, but
I know,
okay.
but that's when you had the idea. So I mean, if you had waited, you also wouldn't be this far. I know, I'm sure that was disappointing, I'm sure, but if you had waited and not started, you'd be starting now and then building your business when everyone else is trying to build. Instead, you got to probably got to figure out things and fail a little bit and learn some good lessons in the beginning when no one was really paying attention or was around it, I would guess.
Right.
Yeah. Yes. And that's kind of cool too, that you're like, okay, this is what I want to do. And you realize, well, someone else is already doing it. So I could buy this franchise instead of recreating the wheel.
Yes. Correct.
Right.
Yes.
And so that's so cool too, that it was already, and then no one else had already taken up the Chicago market. So you can kind of be the first. And
we were the first. Yeah, we were the first in the Midwest to open this brand. And then we were the fifth in the nation to open. So right now we just opened our 40th studio nationwide last weekend. So nationwide, I'm not sure exactly where that 40th was. I think in Texas, but it's really exciting to be on the ground floor of something that's growing so fast. I mean, they're looking to get about 150 studios nationwide by the end of the year, going to like eventually 500. So as many as Orange Theory has. So it's really exciting to be on the ground floor of something that's in a growth mode too.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah.
So tell me about, so it's cool. I didn't know you had an master's in finance. That probably is very helpful with business.
Yes.
Were you like, when you were working for MTV and working for your dad and being an entrepreneur and then being in corporate America, along the way when you were trying to figure out what you wanted to do, like the next phase of your life, or as you were in each role, what was keeping you, or what were some things that you did to keep you, happy, peaceful, and content as you were trying to figure out what you want to do with your whole life? What would you do? Obviously, exercising was probably part of it.
It was huge. Yeah. So again, I've always that's always been a part of what I do. It's a lifestyle choice that I've made to be active and to be an athlete and to stay in fitness. For some people, it's hard. For some people it's a chore. It's like something like, oh God, I got to work out. For me, it's not. It's never been that since I was very little. So that's always something that's kept me really strong in physical, but also strong mentally. Yeah. It's kind of my, I guess, addiction, so to speak, but it's a healthy one. Mm-hmm. So, but I rely a lot on friends, family. I have a great support system. So in every phase of, changing, it's a lot of, meeting with people, talking, networking, talking to friends. My dad is kind of my mentor in life. He's an entrepreneur and created a hugely successful business on his own. That still today is, running in Chicago, not under our ownership, but under someone else's. So, finding something that keeps you going every day, no matter what it is. Mine happens to be fitness and working out. And then also having a great support system around you is a great recipe for success and providing a good direction for where you want to go.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought up the support system, because a lot of people would say, like, whether you're an entrepreneur or you're in corporate America, you have a job to do every day. You get up and you do it, whether you're managing people or not. But you can't just be all in your head all the time. You have to have either a partner, even that's not enough, in my opinion, support group. So some people come from big families and they have a lot of family around. Some people live in a city where they know no one when they get there, and they have to build friendships or network with people. But whether it's professionally or personally, you have to have those people that you can rely on and go to and bounce ideas off of. I mean, thankfully you have your dad who's already kind of done it. So that's super, that's a great asset and blessing. But even if you don't have that, you can say there's always someone out there who's probably done something similar to what you're doing. And then there's people around that will support you no matter what you're doing, and whether you're, because it's ups and downs, obviously you're always on a roller coaster. And if you don't have that, it's not so easy to keep going. It's a lot easier to say, all right, this isn't working and I don't know what else to do, so I'm just going to give up, which is, I'm sure you hear a lot, even with in your industry. That's not an option. You're not going to get where you want to go if you just give up. And so you have to have people around. No one does it on their own, even though people will say, I mean, you can build things on your own and you have to put the work in, but no one actually really does it on their own.
Yeah.
Even if it's not someone who's mentoring you, you're getting information from research or articles or books or whatever. Someone else has written about this, talked about it, whatever it is. And that's how when I started my own business, I was reading a lot, but I was listening to a lot of podcasts about entrepreneurs and how to do things the right way. And I took their advice, and that's how I ended up writing my book and starting my podcast. But there's always someone else that can help you. And even if it's not perfect, at least you're gaining information.
Correct.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
So do you get asked for advice a lot? This is my question. And what do you say to people when they say either, I really want to get fit, but I'm sure they have lots of excuses, or I'd love to start my own business like you did. How do I do it? You know, I really want to find that thing for me. What do you say to people when you are asked that, any of those things?
You know, my biggest advice for people is, again, just create an amazing support system and a good team around you. You know, I guess it depends on the business they're asking about. If it's something they can do individually, then again, just seek out like other people that are doing jobs well, whether it be, you know, a lawyer or an HR person, or someone who is like really efficient with social media, you know. So really trying to find that kind of that support and digging in, asking questions is always my advice for people. And this is what I tell anyone: if you have a passion for something, you will be successful, you know. So it's you have to have that passion and find something that is gonna really drive you to succeed and to want to succeed. If you have that passion, then really the sky's the limit. But I do tell people, you know, it takes a village, and I believe that. You know, I'm in a service business, and obviously I need a team around me to be able to do what I do. But I firmly believe I'm only as good as the people that are around me. So I will be, you know, mopping the floors and teaching the classes and putting weights away. And, but at the same time, I'll be the boss, you know, if I have to be. So, you know, I lead by example, and I make sure that I have a team of people that realize how amazing they are, and I work really hard to get them to where they want to go. So I always tell people, if it's an individual business that you don't need anyone but yourself to do, find a support system. But if it's a factor of needing a team of people, make sure you're finding people that elevate you. So you might find people that are better than you at some things, which I strive to do all the time. I'm certainly not, you know, I have a lot of experience, but I'm not perfect. And I always strive to find people to surround myself with that can do things better than I can do them. And then we all learn, you know, I might be better at something than they are, and they're maybe better at something than I am. And it's like, you know what, we're all learning, we're all growing. And that's what can make a very successful business. Yeah.
And too, like the people that are coming to your gym, everyone's got different strengths and different things they need to improve on. And it serves you and your business to have an example of those things around you, because not everyone that comes in that gym is going to want the same, you know, they want to get healthier, obviously, and be fit, but they're going to say, I struggle with this, I struggle with that. Hey, so did so-and-so over here.
Yeah.
You know, yeah. And then you can show them that their struggles are seen in other people, instead of just like, okay, everyone is great at boxing. It's like, well, I don't know anything about it. Listen, there are people here that started with not knowing anything too. Here's some examples of that. And that's really smart. I love what you said about if you have a passion, then you'll be successful, because a lot of people, there's a quote about talent and only how far talent gets you. And I'm sure we've all seen it. I know I have seen examples of it in the sports world. It's like, just because you're talented doesn't mean you're going to be successful. You know, you have to put in the work, you have to have the right attitude, you know, you have to be coachable, all those other things, but talent only takes you part of the way. And you can go a lot further with a lot of passion and not enough talent than you can with a ton of talent and just a little bit of passion, because the passion is what keeps you going. And like you said, gets you up every day. You don't think about fitness or exercising as a chore, something you have to do. You love doing it. It's something that it's built into your mind and body. And that's what passion is all about. It's something that you would do for free. Obviously, it's nice to make money at it, but that's the lesson. You know, something that you just get excited to do every day, no matter what. Those are the things you should be going for. I don't think we're taught that enough when we're in school. I think it's like, oh, you're good at finance. You should be an accountant, or you should be. I don't really even like it. Well, you're good at it. Yeah, but I have to do it every day for the rest of my life. I'm good at it. Yeah, exactly. I'm not passionate about it. Right. And you can marry, like you were saying, you can marry those things together and say, okay, I have a little bit of gift for this, but I have a passion for that. The passion is the thing that's going to take you further. Yes, it's the best. Exactly. Yeah. Okay. So, is there anything you wished you learned earlier in your life or career? Any piece of advice or like just insight that you're like, oh, it'd been so good to have at 25 or whatever?
Let's see. I would say, I'm lucky because I have a pretty well-rounded when it comes to business. But one thing that I've learned in kind of the past probably few years is the emotional side of, I'm a very type A personality, and I have my MBA in finance. I was in corporate America for a long time. I was an entrepreneur and learning all the operations and the HR. And you come into a fitness world, and where there's a lot of also like mental, there's a lot of different reasons why people walk in our door. And it's different than dealing with any other kind of service or client kind of business I've ever had to deal with, because my emotional side has been tested. I should say. So and it's hard to say, I wish I learned this prior, but I guess I wish I would have had more, brought more of my emotional side into business prior. Because I just was very by the book kind of, this is, and I was successful at doing that, but I wasn't hugely empathetic and didn't have that huge sense of that emotional side that I do now at a later age. So I would say, it's good to use both sides of your brain a lot. When you do those brain metrics, for sure, the one side of my brain that's more analytical is scores off the charts, and it always has. And that emotional side is small, but I think there's ways to bring in both, that to have a more balanced, especially when you're in a service business or when you're in, any kind of business that you're dealing with people. It's good to have a balance of both that emotional and analytical.
I love that. Yeah, I love that. And if you can't, or you aren't as inclined as you were saying, you bring in people that balance you, and then make you think about things in a different way that you wouldn't have because you're coming at it from this angle.
Yes, and I'm very lucky to have that here, because I'm lucky to have people and partners and staff that bring out that more emotional side.
I like to say, when people say they're lucky, it's like you knew what you needed, and so you went and sought it out, and you have it because you're conscious of the fact that it's very important to have in your business. And then those people came to you because you knew you needed it, and you were looking for it. So it's to your kudos to you for knowing that you needed that, and then looking for people that had it, instead of just saying, well, I don't have it, but I can run a business, because there's lots more to it than just the know-how.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes. Very lucky.
Yeah. Okay. So 2 last questions for you. So, and you can answer them in whatever order you want. So you have to brag a little bit. What's the greatest gift you offer the world every day? And what's one new thing? And sometimes people always have a hard time with that, but then I would say, like, if you have your dad, or if you have kids, think you have kids.
Yeah.
What would they say about you? But it's the greatest gift you offer the world every day. And then the other question is, what's one new thing you're taking away from our conversation today?
I would say the greatest thing that I offer is really just an outlet to be healthy. When I say healthy, I don't mean like lose weight or or, run faster. I mean, just like healthy in any way that it means to you. It could be in the mind, it could be in the body, if that's, but it's just, having people feel good and offering an outlet for people to feel good is what I am, I think I offer the world. There's not one person that walks out of our door that says, I really wish I didn't do that for 45 minutes, So they might walk in saying, I really don't want to do this for 45 minutes, but they don't walk out saying, I wish I didn't do it. So
Right.
I think for me, no matter what they're walking in the door for, I feel that I feel very privileged to be able to offer the outlet for them to get healthy. That was one. And then as far as, things I learned from our conversation, I didn't really think about the emotional side and what I could have done, just going back to that, I know that's something I lacked, but I didn't even think about, maybe it's something I could have done or worked on, in my 20s instead of realizing it in my mid 40s. So that's, live and learn. It's something I will, I will teach my boys is to, if there's one side of you that's not, one side of your brain or one aspect of your life that's missing, maybe try to see if you can learn it or master it before it's not too late, but why not master it now? Yeah.
To help you be, but to your point, like it's healthier and more successful because your emotions are a part of your mind or part of your personality, and they help you deal with all kinds of things in your life, being a parent, being a business owner, even if you're just in corporate America, but you're not, I do admire you because I know people that are in their 50s and 60s that are running companies, and they might be really good at business, but they don't have any of the managerial leadership skill. I mean, none. I mean, you see that, I'm sure you saw that in corporate America. You're like, how did this person get into this role? They don't know anything about managing people, but because they're really good at their job. But then they were, it's usually not it's really not their fault. It's someone promoted them and said, well, you're really good at this, so now you can go manage people and tell them how to be good at it. But it's like, it's managing other people that's the hard part, and that takes out the emotional intelligence. But I love that you realize that it's something you want to build, and then you're like, how can I build it more? How can I get more people around me? Because other people would just say, well, I'm not good at it, but I'm successful, so I don't need to have all those other things. Well, guess what? You're going to reach you're going to plateau at a level of success because and you're not going to attract the people around you that really want to help you grow because you don't have those other emotional traits and strengths that are needed to run, whether it's a team or a business. So I admire that you are doing it and realizing it and then doing something about it instead of just saying, well, I don't really need it. It's like,
thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay. So how can people, if they're in Chicago, so obviously I have a lot of people that listen that are in Chicago, people all over, but I'm sure you can promote it in other places too, but tell people how they can find out about your gym or follow you or you're more.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Mayweather Boxing and Fitness, Chicago River North. If you just Google that will be up. Number one, our other studio is in the North Shore in Wilmette. So Mayweather.fit will take you, that website will take you to our locations here in Chicago. There's just two that are both ours. We are expanding, looking at Park Ridge, Naperville, maybe a couple more city ones. So, that'll all be at Mayweather.fit. We're on Instagram as well. So at Mayweather Fit Chicago River North and at Mayweather Fit Chicago North Shore. So you can find us either way.
So I know that you guys did a quick thing on Fox News and they came to your gym and they featured you or whatever. If someone wants to say like, what is this all about? Because in my head, I'm thinking of boxing. And I was my husband, like, you're not going to box other people, right?
No,
this is not, so if someone wanted to see what it's all about, they could just go to Instagram, go to your page or go to YouTube and find out. And they would
exactly. Yep. We're a combination of, we're meant for very beginners. So we're meant for all fitness levels, all boxing levels. We love people that have never, ever put on a glove before and thrown a punch. We're all about fitness and getting healthy, not about training fighters. So we're a fitness boxing gym, not a boxing gym. So there's a difference there. We're here to just get healthy and have fun and have a super motivating, community-based workout, where you can, have a good sweat, learn something new, and build that strength, build that cardio, and just feel good in the body and mind.
That's awesome. My husband's a great example of it. he loves it, doing it physically. And then
Yeah.
he's like, yeah, his mind is super clear. And like you said, he always leaves, he getting up at 5 a.m., rolling out of bed and going is never like, oh, I can't wait, especially in the middle of winter. But he's like you just said, he never regrets going. He's never like leaves there and goes, he's like, feels his whole day is different when he does it. And he loves it. So kudos to you for doing something that's making the world a better place. And also in this time where people are, kind of afraid to connect and get out there, it's like, just we need more of this. We need more of working around other people and being around this energy that's lifting people up and elevating, like you talked about. We need more and more and more of it. So
yes,
good for
we
you.
love it. Yes.
Congratulations. Thanks for being here today.
Of course. Thank you.
All right, everyone, check out the Mayweather Boxing Gym in Chicago and wherever you are in the country. They have a lot of them. So take care. And I'm sure everyone got a lot of cool ideas from you today. So thanks, Sarah.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Thanks for listening. I hope you loved this episode. Don't forget to like us, subscribe, review, and share it. I hope you were truly inspired. And for a little more inspiration, don't forget to pick up my book, Peace, Possibilities, and Perspective: 8 Secrets to Serenity and Satisfaction in Your Life and Career. I can't wait to get you love in your life.